All right, what is up today, everybody? So we're not doing anything super major. We are just going to be, you guys are going to be watching me drink coffee. If you have coffee ready, go pour you a cup and you can drink some with me. Today we're going to be discussing my top 5 albums of 2018. There was so much great music in 2018. It was really hard for me to choose. We had all these record deals coming out with these big rollouts and all this people coming out of their bag, out of their element and comfort zones and making great music. And some people flopped. There was a lot of rap beef, which was great. It was historic for the rap game. Some of these rap beefs with Pusha T and Drake, Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, Man Bun Kelly. Anyways, without further ado, we are going to get into my top 5 album list of 2018. So my 5th best album was Jay Rock's Redemption. Coming in at number 5, this album really took me by surprise. Being one of the more versatile artists of Top Dawg Entertainment, of K-Dot's Top Dawg Entertainment nonetheless, I knew Jay Rock was going to bring heat in some ways, but not to the extent that he brought it in this album. His flows throughout most of the project were pretty impeccable, and his strategic placement of features from artists like J. Cole and his very own Kendrick make this album's replay value very high. If you haven't listened to it, you really need to go check that album out. It is great. So at number 4, we have Young Dolph, Role Model. I know Young Dolph, he's completely different from Jay Rock. I never thought, personally, I would have Dolph on my top 5 yearly list at all. But here we are. His latest project was off the chain, to put it mildly. The production was outstanding, his flows were even better, and his confidence was on point throughout the project. And he has a Snoop Dogg feature, which, coming from Snoop Dogg, that definitely helps. At number 3, we have JID DiCaprio 2. I knew when I listened to this, the minute it dropped, that Jitty Jib was going to do something special. I'd already listened to the Never Story, and I was mind blown by the production on that, his flows. It was just like, a lot of people want to compare him to Kendrick, but really I think he's in his own lane as far as that. And, he starting off so much younger, and doing so much, talking about shit that matters. We touched on that a few videos back about people at that young age talking about shit that doesn't really matter or won't matter. But JID in the Never Story and DiCaprio too talks about shit that matters, whether it be coming off drugs or, dealing with heartbreak, dealing with all these other issues of, fame and notoriety. And, he really just confirmed that, he is definitely paving his way to be one of the better younger artists. And especially with his Dreamville label with J. Cole, he is destined for greatness. DiCaprio 2 has the same quirkiness that we all love from the Never Story. Yes, I have notes. A lot are saying that the Never Story is a classic, but I wouldn't rule this project out. Songs like Slick Talk and Westbrook show that JID can talk his shit and still seem like the better rapper, which is rare these days. He makes his struggle known, all the while killing flows in songs like Just the Other Day and Off the Zoinkies, which I did a video review of that. Check it out. And man, I can't even tell you, I'm so excited for whatever JID comes out with. Whether I know soon we got Revenge of the Dreamers 3, which he's making a big presence, making his presence known in that as well. Probably drop some more music videos, probably do some features. We got a lot of stuff to expect from JID, and if y'all haven't checked him out yet, y'all are sleeping on him. Y'all need to check him out. All right, so before I tell y'all my number 2 pick, it was with great reluctance that I picked this, but it's like almost like I didn't want to pick it at first because like it was so fucking overhyped. It was overhyped. I even put off listening to it because it was so overhyped. But at the end of the day, I couldn't really help but listen to it, and man, from the beginning, I was mind blown. I was mind blown by the second pick, which is Travis Scott's Astroworld. The reason I say that I didn't want to listen to it is because the biggest thing about Travis Scott that ruins his music for me is nothing to do with him, actually. It's his fan base. His fan base ruins it for me. It's all these young kids that really don't even understand the music that he's talking about, the lyricism. They just like the beats, and then it goes dumb and all this. And, but Travis is more than just surface deep. I've watched interviews of Travis. I've seen how he maneuvers, kind of, his strategic features, his strategic beat changes, the transitions, and all of this music on Astroworld. Man, it makes it great. I love transitions. I love good beats. I love good lyricism, good melodies, and Astroworld has it all. And I will admit that I slept on most of the songs, like Yosemite, Stop Trying to Play God, Stop Trying to Be God, whatever that one's called. And those actually grew on me recently. Like, there are still songs that from when it dropped to now that are growing on me as I listen to it to this day. That album has great replay value. That's why it stands at number 2. All right. So now we're down to the moment, the winner of this Coffee with Mark Top 5 2018 album list. And this album, man, was so slept on. Like, even at the Grammys, it didn't even get to show up at the Grammys, but this album really stands for something, and it should be resonated throughout more of this community, but it isn't, and it pisses me off. My number 1 album for 2018 is J. Cole's K.O.D. J. Cole's K.O.D., which stands for Kill Our Demons, Kids on Drugs, and I do not know the third one. I do not know the third one off the top of my head. King Overdose, that's the third one. Okay, yeah, so Kill Our Demons, Kids on Drugs, and King Overdose. Man, it was a great project, talking about addiction, talking about his struggle with his mom's addiction, talking about him cutting out the weed, cutting out the drugs, cutting out this to answer for it. And he doesn't only touch on drugs, he touches on, social media and Photograph, the song Photograph. I think it's the second to third track. He talks about falling in love with women he doesn't even know on social media, wanting their acceptance, that becoming an addiction. And he talks about fame being an addiction, but he says the only thing we need is love. And, it really even resonated more with the passing of people like Mac Miller and all these other people that died from overdoses or whatnot. You listen to these lyrics and you think, man, they were going through some serious shit. This probably related to them. They listen to this. They love this music. And it's just so sad that music that doesn't really mean shit gets nominated at the Grammys when shit like this right here doesn't get nominated for anything. But it's really like it's going to be a classic album. Like, I'm going to replay this album for years to come. Probably when I'm an old man sitting in a rocking chair, I'm going to be playing K.O.D., rocking K.O.D., because that album just covers so much topics. And with my own struggle with my dad suffering from drug addiction, it's like, okay, well, see someone like J. Cole, he went through this shit and he prospered through it. He conquered it. So maybe I can do it too. I can relate to that situation. And it's just like, I gained so much admiration for J. Cole because this album meant something. For Your Eyes Only meant something. He's been on this chain of trying to make an impact, and it don't seem like he's getting noticed. And that irritates me because this album was so well thought out. And I definitely think if you haven't listened to it, if you've only listened to the bangers on it, then you're sleeping, because some of the tracks that aren't really recognized on Spotify are some of the best tracks on there. Like Once an Addict, that's my favorite song. And that actually talks about his mom's addiction and, about how sometimes, this certain drug or certain beverage or whatever it is, anxiety, whatever, it has a hold on this person and, they can't let it go. And out of fear, whatever the lyrics say, something's got a hold on me. And it's just great, man. I definitely think y'all should check it out. Even if you cannot relate, you probably have a friend that can relate, coworker that can relate. You need to listen to it, and you can get kind of a better understanding of these people that have addictions. And yes, that is why that's my number 1 spot. It was an easy pick for number 1. If you have a different list that you or you disagree with any of my choices, let me know in the comments. Let me know what your top 5 lists were. And let me know what you are anticipating for 2019. I will have a video for that coming up sometime soon, depending on my work schedule. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the few that have already left comments on my videos. I love the criticism. I love the feedback. I hope y'all have a great night. Thank you for drinking coffee with me.